You try to pre-plan, pre-validate, pre-solve every potential problem before you even take a single step. It's like you standing at the bottom of the staircase, refusing to climb it until you see exactly where it ends up. And while you're having all these thoughts, your gut is saying, just take the first damn step. Hello, and welcome back to Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. My question for you today is, have you ever found yourself stuck in decision limbo? You're staring at your to-do list, trying to decide your next move, but your brain is spinning like a broken GPS, recalculating. Or maybe you've been offered two big opportunities. Both feel exciting, but they conflict, so you have to choose one, but you can't seem to figure out which one is the right option to choose. If you're a CEO, owner, or leader, I could bet good money you've been in one of those situations many times. Because somewhere along the line, you were told that making decisions is about logic, strategy, calculated next steps. You gather data, weigh pros and cons, and boom, you pick the right answer and move forward. Except it doesn't always work out that way, does it? And you really wish it was that easy. Sometimes even the smart decision might be right in front of you, but it doesn't feel right. There's a mismatch, a wobble, a quiet internal no we try to ignore because we don't trust that inner voice as much as we trust the spreadsheets or what the experts are telling us. Today's episode is for you if you've been overthinking your next business move, if you feel stuck in indecision, or you've made a decision you later regretted, not because it was the wrong decision, but in the end, it wasn't the right decision for you. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on how I make business decisions. Not from pressure, not from fear, and definitely not from someone else's formula. We're talking human design, emotional authority, devotion, and the power of knowing your why. Because aligned decisions don't start with how. They start with who you are and why you're doing it in the first place. I think often when we start our careers, and especially as CEOs or leaders, there's this kind of silent pressure like we have to know now. We have to know the next step. There's the pressure to decide now. But you know what people don't tell you when you jump into the business world? That there's no buzzer that magically dings when you've made that right decision. There's no green checkmark that pops up, no voiceover saying, you've chosen wisely. It'd be so amazing if there was. And we joke about that, but so many leaders treat decision making like there's a test they need to ace. We put enormous pressure on ourselves to pick the right offer, the right niche, the right launch plan, the right hire, because we're so scared of wasting time or looking unprofessional, or let's be real, we're really afraid of being judged if we make the wrong choice. So what do we do when we believe those thoughts? We try to force clarity. We sit down and try to think our way into certainty. We weigh every option. We make spreadsheets, phone a friend. We draw a pros and cons list that would hopefully get us to the answer. But unfortunately, clarity doesn't come from force. It comes from alignment. And that's where human design changed everything for me. As an emotional generator, my clarity is never instant. I so wish it was. I might get that immediate yes, but I also need to ride my emotional wave. Sometimes there's high emotions, sometimes there's low emotions. And I need to wait until my emotions are neutral. And only after riding that wave does my clarity emerge. Was that initial yes a true yes for me? Before I understood that, I used to feel broken. I'd see others making quick decisions and wonder why I couldn't just pick something and run with it. I would be asked really basic questions that I felt I should know. But I would rush decisions just to be decisive. I would then feel stuck in something that didn't align because I was impulsive on making that decision. And it really sucked. There was this battle between imposter syndrome, because why couldn't I just make a decision in the moment? and this inner voice telling me to pause. You could take a moment to decide. It doesn't have to be rushed. And I'm sure this sounds familiar with a lot of you. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me saying, I should be farther along by now. I should have it figured out already. I shouldn't feel so stuck. If you've ever had these thoughts, I want you to know it's because you're trying to make aligned decisions while bypassing your own design, how you're designed to make decisions. And that's like trying to bake a cake with the wrong ingredients. It might look okay. It might look delicious on the outside. But once you take a bite, the cake is dry, flat, disappointing, and might be really gross. The moment I started honoring my emotional wave, giving myself time to feel my way into decisions instead of rushing to figure it out, everything shifted. Decisions became less about urgency and more about integrity. I dove deep into human design authority in episode 4, but here's a quick recap on how each human design type is designed to make decisions. If you have emotional authority, like I said, you need to ride your emotional wave until there is a neutral feeling. When your emotions are too high or when they're in a low point, you can't clearly hear what your gut is saying. If you have sacral authority, you need to just listen to your gut. It's an instant yes or no for you. It's a full body yes, go for it, or it's a meh, no, it's not for you. If you have splenic authority, you need to listen for that quiet, immediate knowing. It speaks once, so make sure to pause and give yourself space to pay attention to those instant nudges and act on them before your doubt creeps in. If you have ego authority, it's really important for you to ask yourself, do I really want this? Your decisions are driven by what you want and not based on what others expect of you or what you expect them to want for you. If you have self-projected authority, you need to speak your decisions aloud. You hear your truth when you talk, even if you're just talking to yourself. Hearing your voice is what allows you to hear the right decision for you. If you have mental or environmental authority, you need to surround yourself with supportive people because you're not designed to rely on logic, but instead you need to tune in to how different environments make you feel, and based on that feeling is how you'll know what decision is right for you. And if you have lunar authority, which is for all my reflectors, you make decisions by waiting. You need to wait a full lunar cycle, so 28 days, before making major decisions. This gives you plenty of time to track your moods and your energy levels throughout the month, because you take on so much of other people's energy. When you give yourself space to tune in to your energy, you're able to weed out other people's energy and really know what is right for you. So if you've been feeling like you should just decide already, take this as your permission slip to take a breath, to listen, to tune in to your inner authority instead of the external noise. Because the right answer, it's rarely coming from pushing. It comes from pausing long enough to know what is right for you. So now that you know how you're designed to make decisions, let's get into this a little bit deeper, because this is where so many leaders, even self-aware ones, get stuck. They start to understand and play with their human design authority in making decisions. They want to trust their intuition or their wave or that quiet inner knowing. But the moment they get that nudge or that feeling of being pulled towards something, your brain will immediately jump in with, but will this work? Your brain wants to keep you safe, and it only really thinks safeness is what's familiar. So when you're trying to play with this new way of making decisions, even though this is how you're designed, your brain will try to pull you back into old habits. And the biggest part of this is because of how-based decisions. How-based decisions are the ultimate clarity killers. When you ask, how will this work? You think this is a brilliant idea, and then suddenly, but how? Because when you're fixated on how, you shift into control mode. You try to pre-plan, pre-validate, pre-solve every potential problem before you even take a single step. It's like you standing at the bottom of the staircase, refusing to climb it until you see exactly where it ends up. How long will it take you to climb that staircase? Are you wearing the right shoes for the journey? And while you're having all these thoughts, your gut is saying, just take the first damn step. But your brain has got you caught up in a spiral. The obsession with how starts creating anxiety, and then it creates paralysis. It keeps you in this overthinking instead of trusting what your body is telling you and just going for it. And here is an even deeper truth for you. When you lead with how, you lose sight of your purpose. You start making decisions based on what feels safe, familiar, or logical on paper instead of what feels purposeful, fulfilling, or aligned with your body. And here's what no one will tell you. Listening only to what your body tells you is only part of the picture. Yes, your authority is your decision-making compass that helps you know how to make aligned decisions that will align with what's right for you. But it can also make you feel a bit wobbly when you're first learning to trust your authority. Your brain will not only want to know how, but also why it's the right decision. What if I told you you have a North Star you could return to when things feel unclear? An anchor that will ground you and help you trust the decision even if it doesn't make logical sense. There's a part of human design that helps you make the uncertainty of how a little more bearable because deep down, you know exactly what you're doing this for. For me, it's my devotion to freedom. Every decision I make in my business and life is filtered through that lens. Not status, not hustle, not will this scale, but will this give me more freedom to live the life I want? Will this create more space in my day, in my heart, and in my mind? Will this honor the kind of life I'm deeply devoted to building? Because here's what I've always kind of known about myself, but my human design helped me name. My sun gate in human design is gate 29, devotion. It's all about committing myself fully to things that light me up. And for me, that means not just building a business, but building a life, devoting myself to creating a life I envision, and that is one of freedom. Freedom to plan my days as I see fit, follow what excites me without someone telling me that is stupid, and freedom to build a life I want my way and not based on what other people tell me I should do. So when I make decisions, I'm not just asking, what's the best way to grow this quarter? I'm asking, does this support the kind of life I'm committed to living? And that is so much more clarifying than trying to logic my way through, does this make sense? For you, your sun gate might reflect something different. Maybe it's about creating impact, inspiring others, building beauty, solving problems, cultivating harmony, or being a leader of change. Whatever it is, your sun gate in human design offers insights into your core purpose. So yes, your authority shows you how to make decisions, but your sun gate reminds you to trust the decision will lead you to fulfill your purpose. And when you put your authority and your sun gate together, you've got your compass, you've got your direction, you've got trust, just not in the plan, but also in yourself. Your authority is like your steering wheel, how you move. Your sun gate is like the destination, why you're moving at all. And when you stop asking, how will I get there? And start trusting your inner GPS, that compass in you, you arrive exactly where you're meant to be. You've got the compass. You just need to start trusting yourself more than what you think your plan should look like. If you don't know your sun gate, you could look it up on my free chart generator on my website, and I'll leave the link below. Okay, so I could go on and on about this for a while, but I think this is where I'll wrap it up today. We covered a lot, so here is the essence of everything we talked about. You're designed to find clarity in a specific way. Your human design authority is your personal compass. It shows you how to make clear decisions right for you. And when that decision is right for you, your team, your clients, and those all around you will feel that impact. Because clarity doesn't come from control, it comes from trust. And when the how gets loud, your sun gate, your purpose, is there to help steady you. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. You don't need to rush clarity. You don't need to have a perfect 5-year plan. You just need to know how you're designed and trust your next aligned step will reveal itself when the time is right. Whether your goal is freedom, like mine, or it's something entirely different, when you lead from your purpose, you cannot get it wrong. So here's your invitation. If you don't know your human design authority or sun gate yet, start there. I'll drop the link in the notes below so you could pull your free chart and begin exploring. If this episode sparked something for you, share it, text a friend, post it to your stories, leave a comment, or DM me and tell me what your sun gate is. I love hearing from you, and I'll personally respond with some insight into your design. And if you want to go even deeper and start making feel-good business decisions based on your design, my Liberate Your Genius session is the place to start. In just 90 minutes, we'll map out your strategy using human design and your real-life goals so you could stop second-guessing and start leading from your power. You don't need more pressure. You need a pause, a breath, a gentle return to yourself. Your clarity isn't hiding, it's waiting. You're just one aligned decision away. Thank you for listening to Rebel to Rise. Until next time, keep rebelling, keep rising. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. I hope you feel inspired to break free from those shoulds in your life and trust your inner compass as you create a life and business that truly lights you up. Remember, every day is a chance to rebel against the ordinary and rise into your authentic power. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow rebel who's ready to lead their lives unapologetically. Until next time, keep trusting your intuition, keep breaking the rules, and most importantly, keep rising.